Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 1517. It's Thursday. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday. I did not buy bulk yesterday, but I did buy some cards. I'll tell you what I didn't buy. I'll tell you what I did buy. I am going to go live here in a couple hours. eBay Live this morning, do a little pop up show at 10 a.m. Central today. It's been a while. It's been about a week since I've done a daytime stream. So I'm looking forward to doing a daytime. I've got, it's just going to be randomness, just like always, like always. So today, gosh, we're already at July 10th. I'm turning into all of our dads. I think we all do at a certain age. It's like, gosh, every weekend is full. Where's the time go? It's like, gosh. So fortunately, I don't have anything going on this weekend, so I can really hustle with shipping. I do want to do a live on. So we're gonna go live on eBay today at 10. We're gonna take Friday off. Saturday Night Live has been phenomenal. We're gonna go live on Saturday night. We're gonna run it back on Sunday night, Sunday singles. Again, I'll take Monday off to get caught up from the weekend, and then I may do a Tuesday day stream. Actually, no, I don't think I will. We leave for Maine on what day? And now it's like I've got I think we leave Wednesday. So yeah, so I think I'll go live today, Saturday, Sunday, and then I'm basically a week off. So I want to get some stuff out the next few days, and then we're gone, and then I'll probably do a pop-up show at some point when I get back. And then I've got to get ready for the Madison 2-day Madison card show, 26th, 27th, regular show on Saturday the 26th, the Madison Pokemon show on Sunday the 27th, and then on Wednesday morning the 30th we're heading to the National. So it's gonna be a busy second half of July. So I want to squeeze in as much as possible. I've really been hustling here the first couple weeks of July because of that reason. Because it's like, well, second half is going to be busy. So I'm tired. I got a full night's sleep last night. Apparently Ernie woke up at 5. I didn't. My wife did, and then got up at 7. Ernie is eating, man. Ernie is a fucking eater. So he devours. We feed him the farmer's dog, and he just devours it. And then we give him kibble for like a daytime snack at doggy daycare. And usually he doesn't eat at doggy day, but he's been eating. And it's like, well, maybe the farmer's dog isn't enough, but they give you like, okay, based on your dog and the weight and all this is how much you feed him of this particular meal. But he's like still hungry. It's like, so my wife, so we've been putting kibble in the farmer's dog, just in case. And like, he's still just devouring it. And, I don't know. So I looked it up. I chat GPT'd. I'm like, I have a Havanese puppy. Like, and it's like, well, in the first year they eat a lot, and then age 1 to 6, they're they eat less than what they do as a puppy. It's like that's like the reverse. Like he's eating more. He just turned 1, and now he's eating more. I don't know what's going on, but he's a fucking eater. That's for sure. So I don't know why I brought that up. So yeah, so it's gonna be a busy month. I got a text. I got 2 text messages yesterday regarding cards. My buddy Steve reached out and said, hey, in like every 6 to 12 months, Um, he's like, every 6 to 12 months, I've got a batch of cards for you. Um, and like, all right. So went over to his place last night and um, didn't buy it. Didn't buy it. First, I think the first time that I haven't bought everything that he was selling. Um, 4 months ago, I probably would have. Which now thinking about it, it's like that's kind of I'm kind of I shouldn't have. Although the price was right. The price was it was a really good price. And that's why I would have bought it. And that's why I have 4 million cards. Because I rarely turn down a bulk buy. And then another friend of mine reached out and he's like, I want to give you all of my cards. And I'm like, well, this is random. And he's like, I collected in the 70s and early 80s, and I don't want them. So we're going to meet up. He's going to be in town tomorrow. And so I'm going to pay him, depending on what it is, but I'm not just going to take them for free. So, because if there's good stuff in there, I'm absolutely going to give him some money. So, so I'm going to talk about why I didn't buy yesterday and what I did buy. And I did something I don't know that I've ever done what I did yesterday in terms of not buying everything. My eBay sales are up 175% year over year. Yesterday was a big day on eBay Live. Auto pay went into effect for everyone, which I love. I've got what day is it? Tuesday. Today's Thursday, so Tuesday. I've got Tuesday's stuff. Excuse me. And I see there's a slab that hasn't been paid for, and I don't think it's going to get paid for. It went really high. Like, why? I mean, a lot of stuff goes high, and it's like, is this going to get paid for? This one in particular not on under the auto pay, and I don't think it's going to get paid. So you may see that card come up again. What else is? That's about all that's going on. I want to make it quick today, so I can get a little bit of shipping done, and I need to set up today's stream. So 10 a.m. this morning, eBay Live. I'm going to go into the chat, and then I'm going to tell you about the bulk that I did not buy and the cards that I did buy. Kevin, good morning. Lakeland, Florida, checking in. TD Sports Cards, good morning. You card hoarders. Kyle's in the house. Good morning. Dale is here. What's happening? He's ready for the weekend. Let's go. Mark is here. We're, I think, 20 days from the National. Jody's in the house. Good morning. Orlando is here. Good morning. David is here. Good morning. Orlando says, give Ernie what he wants. He's hungry, young, and active. And that's what it's like. He is very active. Like he goes to doggy daycare 5 days a week, and he's playing. They give him rests, but it's like he's been going to doggy daycare. It's like all of a sudden he's eating more. But hey, we'll feed him. He's hungry. We'll feed him. So yesterday Steve reached out to me. You've probably heard it a million times. Steve was one of the first probably the first collection I ever bought. And actually I very rarely buy collections. Usually what I buy is bulk. And I think I've done videos where here's the difference between bulk and a collection. What I bought last week was a collection. That was a guy's collection. Steve's was a collection from his actually, and I asked him last night. I said, yeah, I actually bought a collection very similar to what I bought from you. So I'm like, do you know this guy? And he had a shop out of his basement in Sun Prairie. And he's like, no, name doesn't ring a bell. And it would have been a similar time because I think Steve's dad had not a card shop, but like a secondhand store, but he had cards and sold sports memorabilia out of it. Around the same time in the early 80s. So here in town, here in Madison. So I figured maybe they had run into each other back in the day. So So Steve had sold his collection, had it listed on Craigslist, had a price. There was like the 82 top set. There were like Sports Illustrated posters and just a bunch of random stuff, oddball stuff. It was awesome. So he had a price on it. I almost didn't reach out. Like I'm like, I don't want to spend $900. It was not a full time. This was way back in like 2016, maybe 2017. So I was not, it wasn't even really a big side hustle at the time. I was selling stuff on eBay, but not to the point even when I was doing it as a side hustle. So 900 was a pretty big spend for me back then. So I ended up reaching out and I went over to look at it, and I wasn't prepared because I didn't think I was going to buy it. Like I wanted to see, and so he's like showing me. I'm like, oh my god, and I'm like, so what's all part of the? He's like, oh, everything goes, and I'm like, oh, because there was so much that he didn't post on Craigslist, and what really sold it for me were some old baseballs, like signed in-person baseballs of the Quad City Cubs. And so I grew up near the Quad. I grew up going to Quad City's games. They were no longer the Cubs when I was going. The Quad City Cubs were a little before my time. I think they became an Angels affiliate in like 1984 when I was 2. So I went to Quad City Angels games growing up. So I was always enamored by the Quad City Cubs and wished that they were still the Cubs affiliate when I was a kid. But he had like Sean Dunston from like his year in the Quad City Cubs. There was like 3 of them signed baseballs, aged. And so that was kind of that was like, oh my God, I've got to have these. Now everything else was, a great deal. And I didn't even waver on the price. Like, I paid sticker. I think it was $900, and I'm like, I'll buy it all. $900. I wasn't prepared, so I'm like, I'll come back. Just let me know, and I'll come back. Whatever, 2 days later or whatever, and bring you cash. And so I said, hey, if and he had talked about, he's like, yeah, I'm going to use this money to. I think he was going to put it into Ernie Banks cards. And I said, well, if you come across any collections, if you're still buying, let me know. And so we exchanged numbers. And I don't know. Oh, we did do another deal before the Madison Card Show started. So he had reached out like 3 years later. He had reached out and said, hey, so I got back into buying a bunch of stuff. I got a whole bunch. And this was during COVID because we had to wear masks. I remember that. And this was like still like when we didn't know. Like we wore masks because we didn't know what was going on. And anyway. So went over there and I bought it all, bought everything. And then I started the card show about a year later. Less than a year later, and he came out, and we've done several deals since. So he reached out. He's like, hey, he's like, every 6 to 12 months, I reach out and I've got a bunch of stuff. I'm ready to move. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, he's like, we can do it tonight or Friday. I'm like, let's do it tonight. So went over and went down, and it was a lot of junk wax. And I'm like, oh, I'm going through, and he's like, so here's like the better box, and it wasn't great. I'm like, okay. I'm looking through, and like, here's a bunch of Brewers cards, and it's like junk wax. And I'm like, oh, here's some pack. There was some Packers binders that did have Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, but like, a lot of commons. And I see like writing on boxes, and I open it up and I just see the red 90 Donruss, and I'm like, oh man. So then he had like sets, like junk wax sets, but didn't know if they were complete. So I'm like, I don't want to. And plus, it's like, I don't want to cherry pick that stuff. I have so much of that stuff anyway. And he gave me and it was a really good price. It was like $300 for everything, which 4 months ago I would have bought it. But now it's like literally, and I told him this, and I said, most of this stuff I'm going to take to my storage unit. I would take to my storage unit, and I would just probably never look at it. It would end up getting sold in a bulk deal. I probably wouldn't even open up most of these boxes. Um, and I know he didn't, I'm like, I know you want to sell everything. I'm like, I'm not interested in everything. I'm not going to buy everything. But if there's a few things that I will buy. And if you're okay with me cherry picking, I'll buy a couple boxes. So he wasn't thrilled with that, but he eventually is like, okay, just let me know what you want and what you would pay. So, and normally I'd be like, well, you name the price, but at this point I knew what he wanted for everything. I know what I can do with what I wanted. And so I laid down a pretty fair price. And so I picked up a 3-row shoebox that had there's over 100 Deion Sanders, which does really well in my live streams. And I didn't even go through like the whole box. I just kind of flicked through, and there was enough in there. It's like, okay, there's like 100 Deion Sanders cards, or more. There's some Joe Montana and Bo Jacksons and Ken Griffey Jr.'s in there. I know I can make a couple bucks on those. And then there was a couple binders that had like 80s football. And it's like, I'll throw these binders in. And then he had a bunch of bobbleheads and like starting lineups. And I don't want anything to do with that stuff. It's like Brewers bobbleheads, which are like worth nothing. But there was a giant Joe Montana starting lineup. And Joe Montana does phenomenal in eBay Live. So I'm like, I'll throw this in just to see. So I bought a 3-row shoebox, 2 binders, and the Joe Montana for $100. I offered $100. I'm like, I'd do $100. And I think he was pretty happy. He was going to give it all away for $3. Now it was also like the only box that was like sorted somewhat with good stuff in it. But still, I think a good deal for both of us. And then he's like, would you have any interest? He was selling mystery packs on eBay. I'm not a big mystery pack fan. And he's like, would you be interested in these mystery packs? And he had a box, and there were 21 mystery packs. And I think he sells them on eBay for like $10. And which is a good deal. And it's like you get what you pay for. And there's an auto in each pack. And I looked at a couple of the autos, and it's like, yeah, I can. He's like, I would do $2 per mystery pack. And I'm like, okay, in auto, I can probably sell an auto for $2. There's probably some other cards in here that I can move, and make it, worth my while. So, 21 mystery packs, $40. So I bought that as well. I haven't even gone through the mystery packs. I know there's an Adley Rushman rookie patch that will do well. That was in a mystery pack. There was, cause he showed me some of that. What else? There was something else that I'll do, okay. And then the autos, even the no-name autos, they'll sell for at minimum, they'll sell for $1, and there's going to be some other stuff. So it's kind of a gamble, but I know that with the eBay Live audience, I'll be able to make some money on, breaking those up and selling them. No, I won't be selling mystery packs. But I'll use the bubble. They're wrapped in bubble mail or bubble wrap. So I'll be able to use the bubble wrap. So that's like an added bonus. So that's what I bought and what I did not buy yesterday. James in the house. What's going on? Zach and Porter here. Has anyone ever convinced you that they had a collection for you to purchase, but when you got there, they made an indecent proposal tied to you and the seller having a romantic twist about? That has never happened. Thank goodness. That has never happened. That has never happened. So that was what I was up to yesterday, and it took me forever to get home. There was on the Beltline, there was it looked like a truck had like been engulfed in flames. They had like 2 lanes blocked off, took forever. And then when I got past it, it was already in the cleanup, but it was like a big F-150 or F-250, and it looked like it had been like completely engulfed in flames. So that's interesting. I'll read the news today. Dead Dude from Duryea says, "What's up? I am curious what your eBay percentages will look like a year from now. 175 plus is tough to repeat," which is yes. So like ideally you want to see like 10 to 15% growth year over year. 40% was my goal for this year. And 40% is huge. Like that is big time growth. 175% is obviously it's not going to be repeated. It will not be. Could it be repeated? Sure. I doubt it will be. I do want to see. I wanted to compare. I was thinking about this yesterday. I want to see what my goal number was. So I am, let's see. I am almost 2/3. It's July 10th. I am almost 2/3 to my goal that I wanted to reach for the entire year. I am at about 60, a little less than 2/3, about 65% to my year, my goal for the entire year. So I think that's a good pace. I mean, that's ahead of where we're at. Obviously, over the last 2 months, 3 months, 2 months, that number is significant. Let's go from, so say 65% year to date. Let's do a custom, and let's just do from May, from June 1st to now. And let's see where I'm at. About a third, almost a third, just since June 1st. So in 5 weeks, almost 6 weeks, I've done almost a third of what my goal was going to be. That's pretty insane. And no, I won't be able to repeat that next year. Never say never. Tiger727, what's up? New version of an older magazine, Stories, 1 Million Cubs Forum. Do you have any women's basketball like Sila Swords? I do have a bunch of WNBA. I don't think I have any Sila Swords. Apparently she's one of the new she's kind of coming up in the hobby. I've only got a few Caitlin Clarks left. I sold all my Cameron Brink. And then I've got a bunch of like just WNBA Prism from last year. That dude says, remember now so you don't get depressed when you look at it. Right. Does Amy roll out your 2026 sales budget in late Q4 or after the turn of the year? Not sure if you can sandbag some sales to help 2026 with you so far ahead. Cody says, good morning. Do you have any more Madison Card Show sweatshirts? I have a t-shirt. I have t-shirts. I don't have any sweatshirts. I have t-shirts. I have an extra. I don't know I might have a large or an extra large, but I have an extra. But mine are staff shirts. Mine are not the red. I don't have any of the red shirts. I just have the event staff shirts. All right, I'm going to get going. We're only 25 minutes in, but I've got a busy day ahead. So I'm going to wrap things up. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Do not visit my eBay store, but come see me on eBay Live today at 10 a.m. Central. and shop from eBay Live. You can buy cards from eBay Live, but don't buy them from my Buy It Now store. Mikey says Silas Sword's red auto of 5 first is on eBay. I bid on it. I'm not confident I will win it. Very nice. Good luck. All right. So we'll do this again tomorrow morning. Gosh, it's Friday already. We might play Name That Player tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see if I'm up for it tomorrow morning. Ryan's in the house. Good morning. Alrighty. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Or today. We'll see you today, 10 a.m. Central on eBay Live. Hope to see you there.